Hi everyone, the Organic Tank here with another episode of our Mind of Masters series today. Mind of Forrest Griffin, former UFC light heavyweight champion, author of two best-selling New York Times bestseller books, former police officer. Presently he is involved in the Ultimate Fighting Championship athlete development.
Yes.
Something or another.
It's close enough.
Kind enough to have us again today, Forrest Griffin.
Hey, and you're welcome for all the cleanup I obviously did. I knew you guys were coming, so I was like, oh, I better do my hair and shave.
Yeah,
So
Forrest Griffin, I guess the one thing that stands out, and we've talked about this before, we did a big story on you a couple years ago, you were up to something like 12 to 14 cups of coffee a day.
Yeah.
Are you still consuming that much caffeine?
About 2 pots a day.
And 2 pots is equivalent of what?
20 cups.
No.
But like from your thing, I usually eat that, and then I got an espresso machine I brought in to work that I pull a couple of those if I need some, and then they have free Monsters there too. So.
Now, is there ever a day when you can't get all that coffee? You can't get all that coffee in you. Sorry. Is there ever a day when you can't get all that coffee in you, and what does that look like if you can't, if you get maybe 6 cups in you?
So, yeah, like today's, I try to back off a little bit, so I only have the pot for breakfast, so that's why I'm so tired right now. No, I'm not even kidding, I try some days you kind of ease, go to bed early.
And you've been involved with some known to consume some delicacies among coffee, pay a pretty penny for some cat shit coffee, what or something like that.
Yeah.
How much are you paying for your coffee? Right? Is it caveman coffee?
No.
There's different coffees.
Well, Keith Jardine is kind enough to send me free coffee a lot, so I'm drinking that right now. So thank you, Keith Jardine, for real. Caveman coffee, I really appreciate.
And what makes that coffee particular? I know it's free, other than the fact that it's free and it's from Keith Jardine, another UFC fighter, former UFC fighter. What makes that coffee so good?
He knocked me out and gives me free coffee. It's kind of an even trade in my book, It's actually pretty good coffee. If you read it, it's grown at altitude and it's single origin. So, it has 2 of the key things you're looking for.
Now, some people would say, even people like me...
It also, the darker stuff, it's well roasted.
Really?
Yeah. That's, I'm not as much of a coffee snob or gun snob as I was.
Yeah.
I kind of just, I've scaled back.
Now, we interviewed Robert Drysdale last week. You trained extensively with Robert Drysdale.
One of my favorite jits coaches of all times ever.
And he was saying something to me, Frank, coffee will make you 10% stronger. It's scientifically proven. I don't know if he got that from you, but what are the benefits of coffee? Because guys like me are hesitant to drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, I'm like a coffee pusher.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I found it freshman year of college. I had an 8 a.m. class, and at the dining hall they had coffee. And I never really had it, and I swear to God, it made me like 10% smarter. I was able to focus, and I don't get that anymore because, years of abuse, but in fact my adrenal glands are just shot. So, I would say don't start. It's like anything else. You just gotta have more, and then you're just forced.
Now, when you were doing those books, you had an editor for your 2 books, which are hilarious books.
Yeah, I had a writer.
Yeah, okay, so I'm wondering, how did you do that? When you wrote your books, though, a lot of that, it's not just you dictated it to them, you actually did some writing, you handed off to them.
A little bit.
How did you do that?
Mostly we sat at that table out there, and we drank a lot of coffee. He actually didn't drink coffee, so I would drink a lot of coffee, and I would just ramble, and then he would send me back what I'd said, and I would tell him, you didn't even get that right. This isn't the right transcript. And I would edit it, and he would send it back, and we would just keep sending it back and forth. And really, I realized a book is never done. The deadline just comes due. Because I had the whole second book started because I wasn't through with the first. I was still I had all this material that I hadn't, shaped up yet. And there's still, there was, I don't know if I've told this story to you before, but there was the start of a 3rd book. And I was trying to give my mom directions, and our phones were cutting in and out. And she was driving under the tunnel by the airport, and I threw my phone on the ground and shattered it, and they weren't able to recover it. And of course I don't save anything.
So you're saying there were like extensive notes in that
Right,
third book in that phone.
The third book was broken, and after that, it was just like, I give up. I was like, you really can't get the data. I thought you could always retrieve the data. No.
Were you shocked by this? What was the title of the first book?
Got Fight.
Got Fight. Got Fight.
Got Fight.
Just like Got Milk, Got Fight.
Yeah.
Were you surprised at how well that book performed? I mean, I know, like, Chuck Liddell had a book, it did well. Matt Hughes had a book, it did, but
of course not.
You weren't.
No, it's an amazing book. I mean, it's one of the best books I've ever written. If not the best book, I don't know. It's out there.
Did you have plans? Did you ever think? I mean, maybe Eric Krause approached you about a book. Erish.
He's got the same.
Erish.
Two of the guys.
Not Eric. Erish.
Erish. You got Aaron, Erish, see, and Stefan. So two guys that people always say, that Stephen Bonner, Stefan, but the one. And everybody's like, Eric.
You just like to surround yourself with these
people with like
Swedish
just one-off names. I'm like, I don't tell you. Anyway, this question.
Did you long ago though? Did you think you had some books in you even during your career? Did you think, or were you?
Well, I used to read a lot, and I read Stephen King's book on writing, which I loved, absolutely loved it. It's a little autobiographical. And, I was a huge Chuck Palahniuk fan, and I now follow him on Twitter, and he always talks about, like, writing courses and stuff. So I truly think everybody has got one good story in them.
Mm-hmm. Talk about your, I've talked
special side, too.
Yeah, too. We've talked about this before, but we haven't talked about it on camera. Your relationship with coffee on fight night. You have certain rules or protocols where you don't, if your fight is say 8 or 9, you don't you consume that last cup of coffee at 4. What's your etiquette? What was your etiquette on coffee on fight night?
It was simply dictated on when I started. They wouldn't allow you to have coffee in the locker room, so it was just like
why?
I mean, maybe it is a performance-enhancing drug. Yeah. So it was just simply. I liked the whole interviews about coffee too.
Yeah.
I have no problem.
I'm fascinated by coffee because I don't drink. I'm scared to drink a whole lot. I'm kind of wimpy, so. But, I got a guy here.
So I would just do it before the locker room. Then you get to the locker room, and if you got poop, you can, get that done and shower and everything. And, pee. Yeah. Get that. Get that handle.
And we're Forrest, you had a little bit. You guys can't see it there, but Forrest has a little bit of a bruise under his eye. Of course, you can see he's got some scars from the olden days, which. Are some pretty good souvenirs there. What happened though?
My hairline's receding, my nostrils are huge, so I need every time I'm on camera, I have somebody spot my nostrils. Like, can you see boogers up the shank?
Very sensitive ears too, obviously, really. Yeah. But that shiner. Were you sparring recently? Did you get hit there, or is that your daughter?
Sparring. I actually was sparring with some beginner. I don't even know his name. My buddy Wood was working with him, and he's a little guy, and. He clipped me, and I was backing out, and I tweaked my neck.
So the bruise doesn't hurt; the neck is just kind of clicking. And
I work out enough to stay injured.
Yeah.
Just consistently hurt.
Now, what's it like post retirement? What's it like going in the gym now when you're not training for a fight? You're not training for that final exam. Do you get as much out of it? What are you looking to accomplish now when you go in there? And if you're sparring, if you're doing jits, what are you looking to get out of it?
I just do jits. I want to do a little jits, maybe 3 or 4 hours a week, just because it's something I like. It's for fun.
Why gi? Why the gi in particular?
That's because it's it's different. When you think, for me, grappling, in other sense becomes like kind of a fight thing, whereas the gi's new. I've never consistently done it. And I feel like if I just learned some grips, I could not suck so bad at it.
Have you ever done any jiu-jitsu tournaments when you were in your younger days?
You did. And I won them both.
You did win them both.
No gi, yeah.
No gi. Any possibility to replace the thrill of fighting in a cage? Any possibility you do a jiu-jitsu tournament?
No, like the over 40 thing.
Why not?
Honestly, I can't. My shoulder and knee, I just can't train consistently. It's no fun like running a race when you can't run full speed.
Tell me about.
Yes, sweetie. Yeah, baby. I love you too.
Daughter's here.
You need anything?
He'll be right back.
All right.
He's just Got a little, almost 4-year-old. She's almost 4.
She'll be 4, September 2nd.
Ella.
So almost there, yeah.
So that shoulder, tell me about that shoulder, because you've been talking about that shoulder for years.
Yeah.
What particularly happened to that shoulder where you can't fix it so that it's right?
Bicep tendon, severed bicep tendon, slap tear repair, Bankroll tear repair, separated AC joint, no supraspinatus, no labrum, and I might be it. There might be something else. I can't remember. But I've had like 3 surgeries on it. But you know, it is what it is.
You are a University of Georgia UGA grad,
Yes.
Bulldogs. What did you get your degree in?
Political science.
Political science. Who's your favorite president of all time? And why? You got Carter down there. You got Carter. You want to be a Georgia.
We just got cancer, I guess. Brain cancer, actually. Speaking of,
you got a chance to study a lot of politicians. Who'd you like?
I'm gonna go Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah, you know, it's kind of for manliness and stuff. Well, I mean, the best president, obviously, was the other Roosevelt. He was president for like 18 years or something crazy like that, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR. He was president for like 16 years or something crazy. Yeah.
Now you've been out in Vegas how many years now?
How do you not know? You don't know.
I don't.
You don't even know if I'm wrong.
It was FDR, Franklin.
Yeah.
He had 4. polio. He had the 4 terms, and then for some reason, maybe they thought a president would die in office or something. I don't know what they were thinking, but they went to 2 terms.
There you go.
Okay. So
there you go. So I knew you know.
So yeah, I have to formulate my next question too, while simultaneously pleasing Forrest and quizzing me on my political science. When you're down in Georgia, how many years have you been in Vegas now?
9.
9 or 10, okay. All right, so you're a Georgia boy at heart, though.
I don't know. I'd like to think I'm pretty fluid.
Yeah.
Go with the flow. I don't care.
What stands out about your experience at UGA, other than coffee getting you through college? What stands out about your experience at UGA? You were a football player. Did you go to UGA? Were you recruited to play football?
No, absolutely not. I decided to try and walk on and be on the practice squad. It's a horrible idea. If you're not a scholarship athlete, like those guys that start, wrestling's maybe different because there's not a ton of scholarships, but those guys that start in college as non-scholarship athletes and then make it like the NFL, they're pretty amazing because you know it's really hard if you're not a scholarship guy. But no, it's a beautiful place. The seasons, seasons were nice. The bars were okay. I remember me and my wife went back when we were in our like 32, 33, and we felt like creepers. Being in the bar and you kind of guess like, is that dude even over 21? I don't know.
What when you talk, you actually tried out for the UGA football team though?
Yes.
You did walk on.
Yes.
How long?
No, I did not. I was on the practice squad.
Okay. How long did that last? How long? A whole entire season?
No. As soon as like the semester ended, I just left my stuff and left.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't for me. I was I just needed somebody like to be positive, and I'm not like super positive. And there's no fun like when you're not good at things.
Yeah.
Right. So what do? It's stupid.
That's
something I always tell people. There's no amount of want that can give you talent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have talent, work and want will make it better.
Right.
But if you just have no talent, you just don't have it. I see so many people, because there's so few barriers to fighting, you don't have to get drafted. You can go tell a guy you want to fight and you can fight for $300.
Right.
You see a lot of people that are not athletes, and they're not even, if they are athletes, they aren't meant to be fighters, So that's something I kind of like, you're a great guy, your toughest day is long, but you'll never be, you'll never make it to the top. Just based on, hand-eye coordination, speed, size, strength, things that you have no control over. So, there's not a lot of 5'2" guys in the NFL. There's nobody your size in the NFL. Maybe 2, 3. And they're the fastest people. They're the fastest people on the planet, Right. So.
When did you realize that you were good at fighting? That hey, I can do this as a professional.
I have no idea. I don't know.
What made you even think I can fight? I'm gonna go train. I'm gonna fight. What gave you the notion to do that?
I just needed a sport. I needed something to do. I was 19 years old. And I didn't know what to do. I just lifted. I was like doing powerlifting. just because there was like an old guy that was kind of mentoring me, and I hated it. But I was like, it was something to work towards, I'm getting stronger, hurt every day. I was like 19, 20, and you're like, should I feel like this at 20? Maybe powerlifting's not the best idea, And, I just saw guys like beating each other up, and my first thought was, that looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that and the talent. Yeah. When I started, you didn't have to have as much talent.
Right.
If you saw people punching each other in the face and thought that looks like fun, you could probably do it.
Right. You were a police officer. Did you think of that as a career, or was that just something to pay the bills?
That was always a career. Yeah, that was what I was going to do. Fighting was just a fun hobby, Yeah, I was eventually going to get my master's and, move up the rank and be,
What about
something? Right?
What about
hard.
What about the police officing profession fits your personality?
That's a great answer. Couple good answers. One, if you think about it, being a police officer is kind of the most noble. It is not kind of. It's one of the most noble professions there is, because for 8 or 12 hours you just go around and you help people. Mm-hmm. Somebody's broken down the side of the road, you give them a ride. You help people. If somebody's stuff is stolen, you make a report so they can help claim it on insurance. If somebody's acting a fool, you arrest them so they don't get themselves in more trouble. That's a way you help people. But hey, you're drunk and you're driving. I'm gonna arrest you so you don't have a real bad tragedy and you realize that this doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And so it's really, you get to help people, and that was what I was. I think that's the exact same thing I said in my interview that got me the job. Mm-hmm. And then I had to do like a report for college about being a police officer, and I said, I want to be a cop because you get to drive fast, carry a gun, chicks dig a guy in uniform, and get free coffee. Drive fast.
Might not be good coffee.
Free coffee is free.
Now, what's your most interesting story? You had a brief career as an officer, police officer, 2 years. What was maybe your most interesting story out there? Did you ever have anything you're like, wow, that was a pretty good day. That's a good story.
Not really.
That stands out.
I remember a couple cool things. I got to do a couple cool things. I shot it. It was really big, lifting a lot at the time. Just finding MMA. It was in really good shape. I remember it was an injured deer, so I shot it and then I drug it out of the roadway, and it was probably 300 pounds. And then everybody was just like, dragging a giant deer out of the roadway by its antlers. People were like, damn. I just remember people looking at me and thinking like, what? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I drive sleds all the time. It's no big deal. And then I remember, is that you or me?
That's you.
Oh, hey, UFC Fight Night Saskatoon.
Yeah.
It's on.
So, in addition, you remember?
He's a big old handicapped guy, and I was like the biggest guy there, so I had to his wheelchair type thing broke. It's like 300 pounds. I had to carry him from one seat to another. Which, again, you don't think of police officers as carrying people that can't walk, but I carried some guy's wheelchair broken. I carried him and put him in his car.
Now you had it,
and then everybody was like, "Oh, jeez, that's big like that," and I was dying, 300 pounds of complete dead weight, because he's paralyzed from the thorax down or the chest down or something. I was oh, no problem. It's what do I get myself into? Oh God, I'm gonna drop this dude. Oh my God. It was only 6 steps, but I got it. That's why you should really do CrossFit, in case there's a handicapped guy.
So Steven Seagal is out there, chasing bad guys. He's doing that. I mean, is there any chance you could be adopted, honorary cops? Has the Vegas PD approached you?
No, absolutely not. I couldn't even make it through the academy. There's a 26-week, 6-month academy here. And you get run and do pull-ups and do all kinds of stuff I can't do. I don't want to really run, So I couldn't be a cop. Nor would I want to. I can't get up. I don't have that kind of discipline anymore. I've been living the good life for too long.
Now, how difficult was retirement for you? I mean, you're that was your I guess to us at least, that was your identity. You made a lot of money. How difficult was that? What, psychologically? How long did it take you? And was that your decision? I mean, you got people like Dana White who's looking out for you, got your family. Was that entirely your decision?
It was completely entirely my niece's decision. My niece, my niece decided I was done. Yeah, so I mean, it was it wasn't optional. There was no way I could perform. And even before I hurt my knee, I'd never really pulled out of a fight. But if you think about it, I pulled out of 2 of my last 4 fights. So I mean, even if you're thinking like from a standpoint, that's not a great bet. There's a 50% chance this guy won't show up, and that was when I had the knee. That was just my shoulder and stuff, That's the way it goes.
So that made it psychologically easier for you, just because you knew that
it wasn't easy. It was just necessary. It was a done deal.
Yeah.
There's not like you're not coming back from that. There'd be no point in fighting really.
I remember I had the privilege to be at the UFC on a day when you were training, just in a training session with Vanderlei Silva. This was years ago. I was down there, Dana White was down there, a few of us were down there watching. It was just incredible to watch, and you guys went at it pretty good. You've remarked to me before, I don't know if you remember that, Frank, I wish I could take back those 2 years that I trained with Vanderlei.
Oh yeah,
just
all that
real intense sparring sessions that serve no great purpose.
They do, but I don't know how many you need. I don't know what it definitely didn't help, I mean, it's cool for a mental edge, but just kind of beats you down. And towards the end of it, I started, losing my chin. And to begin with, I wasn't super quick to begin with, and I was actually getting slower. And if you don't have a chin, fine, but you better be quick. Don't. And the thing too is, I learned how to box and fight when I had a pretty decent chin. So I didn't really. I was never really great at defending myself. It was, all right, I'll take one move, no big deal. So, yeah, it's just, you learn. And if you think about it, boxing camps, in the beginning, only the strong survive. But then, once the strong become the money makers, they don't ever, other than fight night, they don't ever really spar with true competition, right?
Right.
They don't spar with people at their level.
Yep.
Like Pacquiao.
Which is contrary to MMA, which is why I say it's a myth. Everybody's like, you got to train with
super camp. You got to train, and maybe every now and again that's okay. But I don't know if for the long run that's a great thing.
I agree with you.
It's over. You want another one?
Yeah.
All right.
So you can.